Okay, now we're in the second recording. Let me just change the fucking... Meet 26. Okay.
Yeah.
Jade kicks her shoeless feet behind her slowly, as if she's swimming with the current of the gravitational waves pulling her ever closer to their source. Her feet aren't completely bare. They're still covered by her gray-striped witch stockings, but the ruby slippers are gone. She kicked them off hours ago, as if to jettison all hope of returning anywhere resembling a place she used to call home. The fond remembrance of such a place no longer has any pull on her. Now something else entirely is pulling her. Believe me, I'm sympathetic to the temptation. It's always just there, isn't it? A limitless reservoir of emptiness perfectly available to you, patient, omnipresent, dead ahead. As someone who grew up in the middle of an ocean, completely alone, on a planet purged of all human life, 400 years before I was born, I understand the feeling well. But something isn't right here. She should really reconsider whatever it is she may be about to do. There's something about being alone for so long. It makes time feel like it doesn't exist. She knows this almost better than I do. Jade also knows well enough by now that time doesn't actually exist in a literal sense, the way we generally understand it. It's just one aspect of many, and the complement of her own space. It therefore can be neutralized by the introduction of her essence, reduced to white noise or soft light. The continuum of time is therefore demonstrably an illusion, the field of sequential moments and physical conditions that stretch on, resulting in the mirage of loneliness, is pure projection from disproportionate attention given to a single side of one cosmic polar pair of ideas: time. It's my way of saying, and thereby altering her mind to what she already knows, that this feeling of all-consuming solitude and despair haunting her since childhood, it's in her head. The ticking of time is a contrivance in her mind as a byproduct of imbalance, of the vast disparity between her limited self and her ultimate self. It lives rent-free there the way Dave once did, and for this version of Jade, probably still does. He made fun of her sometimes when they were kids because she couldn't always keep real and fake things straight, but he never meant it seriously. It was just the way he showed he cared, which is one of the things Jade always liked so much about him. That he's so clumsy and genuine underneath it all. Maybe Dave broke her heart a little, and he keeps doing it too, no matter how many different timelines they try out. She slips closer to the event horizon, still making no effort to impede her descent. My persuasion skills are admittedly a little rusty. Bear with me here. In my experience, there's something about being alone that can take a person's limited meat engine and make it imagine that it can see beyond the confines of its own electrical processes, make it believe that it is ascending to a place where it can see the 4 dimensions spread out beneath it like a set of windows, like sheet music, like a garden where Jade used to spread out beneath it, where Jade used to spend so much of her time with her hands in the earth and her head in the clouds, dreaming about flowers that bloomed in 6 colors and grew when she played them a song. Was that real? It's hard to tell, but it made her happy, didn't it? Isn't that what she needs now? Isn't it reasonable to presume that's the only thing capable of persuading her to slow her descent? To being invited to imagine, fake or otherwise, that which once made her happy, that which still could make her happy, if only she'd slow down, think about it, and do whatever is necessary to place herself in those surroundings again. It's possible that manning the other end of a suicide hotline... Sorry.
I worked on that.
transmitted through pure thought in a metatextual format may not actually be my true calling. I'm doing my goddamned best here. She just isn't slowing down for some incomprehensible reason. Perhaps my touch is too soft. It wouldn't be the first time. Perhaps the limit of persuasion itself are being tested by the most powerful gravitational force to ever exist. Or perhaps it's true that insistence is just the more effective half of persuasion. So I'm insisting now. Jade Harley will not go into that hole. She does not want us all to see what happens when she unsettles the spirit residing there.
She does, though.
Fucking yikes. Jade throws on the brakes. I say she does. But by now the gravity is overwhelming. Is she even trying to resist? Or is it just that it's useless to try? I'm not sure I can tell. Jade realizes, preferably before it's too late, that this is fucking serious. She needs to turn this around. She doesn't want this. She doesn't want to die.
She wants to return to me.
Alright, I'm done messing around. Your name is Jade Harley. You decide right now that you do not want to die. You resist the pull of the black hole with all your might. What would killing yourself accomplish? Sure, most of your friends are dead, but John is still looking for you. Do you want to let him down? Do you want to crush his soul? Do you have any appreciation for what he's going through, Jade? He can take you home, to your new home, Earthsea, the home I made for you, Jade. Your friends are all there, alive and well. Rose, Dave, Carcat, slutty adult Jade, Jane, Roxy, me. You wouldn't want to disappoint them.
Avoided Jake.
You wouldn't want to disappoint me, would you, Jade? You can avoid all this. The unpredictable consequences about to be unleashed by your thoughtless act. You can still turn this thing around. It's not too late.
But it is too late.
Christ. You're close now to the ceiling of the cancerous deformity. Too close. Just skimming the edge of this thing's vicious horizon. You dip your toes through the place here where the singularity is snapping everything apart at the seams. It's so loud that it's completely silent. You can already feel yourself stretched thin, distorted, pulled out with your descent elongated for all eternity. When you look down, the stripes of your witchy tights go on for miles. Please, Jade, don't ever say I didn't try to stop this.
She closes her eyes and lets go.
So what do we think of that chapter, everyone?
Oh my god.
I need to go close the gate on my house, which means I need to get a shirt on.
Narrator battles.
I need to feed my cat. Well, I already fed my cats during the last chapter. I need to go feed the rest of my animals.
June narration versus North narration.
Versus what narration?
Huh? What?
Oh, no, okay. I thought you said Dorth instead of North.
I need to feed my
Yourself.
Animal Crossing.
Feed Scoot. Do you have Scoot on your island? Feed Scoot.
Who?
Scoot.
I don't have Scoot.
I need Scoot. I'm
4 days trying to get Scoot in.
I am so close to paying $20 on Amazon for a Scoot card.
Oh my god.
Can I tell you something?
Tell me.
Okay. You can get all the Animal Crossing characters without having to pay money for those cards.
Yeah, I know. Wait, what do you mean by that?
Do you have what phone do you have?
I have, Samsung A50. It's an
Does it have
Android.
NFC?
Yes, it does. I think so. I think it does.
You can buy NFC cards and then bind them to Animal Crossing Amiibo
Yeah.
cards.
Oh yeah, I was actually gonna do that, but those are also a little expensive, and I only need one or two.
Yeah. I mean, they're like 50 cents each.
Wait.
So they come in...
If you can find me a link to that, because I looked at them earlier today and I could only find the expensive packs. But like,
Okay.
if you know where to find those, I would be super appreciative.
Come here.
Okay. Sure.
No. No.
Hi everyone. Here's how to steal from Nintendo.
You know,
Oh,
yeah,
I'm
Josh,
loving this.
Josh has
I'm
been fucking
loving
pissy at me. You're loving what, North? Yeah, what's up? Okay, I still gotta go close that gate, so I'll be back. I actually gotta leave my headphones here so they don't disconnect and fuck up the audio settings. Ugh.
This is gonna be a good chapter, I can tell.
I mean, it's like $38 for all these cards, but I mean, you get like 100 of them. So I know they're not here right now, so this doesn't actually matter.
Damn, I've been getting real lucky with this Pokemon thing.
Pokemon thing.
Yeah, like the thing where you do $sign and then the little key, and it gives you like this. It's like almost like a roulette.
I hate gambling.
I'm back.
I hate gambling. I think these might work. I think.
Okay.
You like $5, and you get like 5. Or more, maybe. I have no clue how many you get. I would recommend doing research. You can probably find better. I have a very small brain when it comes to shopping online. Well, those probably work. I mean, NFC cards are extremely cheap to make. They're like, you know.
Yeah, I imagine they would be.
All of the first questions are, I want to make amiibos.
Ew, it's not eligible for Amazon Prime, which means $7 in shipping?
Oh.
Oh.
Sorry. I don't know what Amazon Prime is, so. I'm guessing that removes shipping.
It makes it so you you get things delivered faster, and you also get a bunch of other perks, like an insane amount of other perks that I don't know how they even manage that. They have like their fucking Netflix service that's really bad.
Amazon is one of the richest companies in the world, and Jeff Bezos has more money than I will ever have times a billion.
That's true. I don't know what the fuck I was saying.
Stop.
It also gives you Twitch Prime just for free.
I don't know that is either.
Don't worry about it then. It gives you free games every month, for one thing.
Everything gives me free games.
I know.
I will never play these. I'm just gonna play Portal 1 again.
Yeah.
Giving me games.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Alright.
Wait, what the fuck?
Rennie's still feeding her pets.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
I better set up the next chapter anyway.
Alright. Okay, thanks.
Starting off with some red text. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Can I hit the side of the Animal Crossing store and make it so that they wake up? Because it's like 11 right now, and I want to sell.
You can't. You're shit out of luck.
Frick. I like that part of the original game.
Yeah, but it also, you can, well, you sell for way less, and the penalty is exactly the same as if you just put stuff in the box.
No.
Yeah. It's the same price penalty for...
Well, then the answer is no.
Yeah.
I'll just wait. I'll just time travel.
Oh no, I have to
No.
arrest you.
No, I haven't actually time traveled. I've thought about it because the frickin' I have 1 star in my village. Even though my whole place is like really nice and stuff, and it's because this one villager hasn't moved in. And it's been like a couple days. I think it might be glitched or something. I've heard that is the problem, but I need to update. Hopefully that fixes it. Video games. But hearing someone talk about Animal Crossing isn't actually interesting, so I'm sorry that I don't have funny commentary.
Oh no, that's fine. Animal Crossing is a fun game and has also absorbed my life. And I literally haven't done anything productive since it came out.
Everyone's ahead of me, and I know that there's no such thing as fear of missing out or whatever. Except that there totally is a fear of missing out because although I do enjoy the game by itself, I also enjoy the game while being at the same sort of points as other people are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so there isn't absolutely a fear of missing out, but that doesn't matter because I spent about like 12 days playing Half-Life Alyx. Straight through. So, you know, well. What a good game. I want to talk to my friends who love Half-Life about it, but I can't because they don't have VR headsets and they've sworn off not playing it until they get it. I'm not hearing anything about it, no spoilers and all that.
I was wondering why it was suddenly getting really hot in here again, and I remembered it's because I put a shirt back on to go out and close the gate. Well, I'm freeing myself again.
I understand.
I feel liberated because I swear I've seen I don't want to say comics. I feel like I've seen shows or comics, a bunch of comics, where the main character is just fucking sitting around in a pair of pajamas and a bra, and it's like, hey, now that's me. That's pretty cool. I don't know if that might have been, huh?
What do you mean?
Yeah, that might have been. I don't know if that was something that was too much to say.
Not really. I just don't understand what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna splash some water in my face because I feel like I'm gonna die.
That's fine. I understand that.
Oh, I bought some AirPods.
Oh, congratulations for your iPods.
Oh god. Yeah, they were gonna get here on the 7th, but now they're getting here on the 8th, which fair enough, I guess. My dad also wanted me to get him a computer mouse, so I ordered it, and I had the option to have the computer mouse arrive sooner, but I was feeling kind of salty about something, so I just said to have them arrive on the same day. And that's why I'm evil. I'll just do shit like that for no reason.
Spite is real. And
Spite is real.
you're allowed to have those feelings, but just know that I will spite you for them too.
You know what? Good. I'll just know that I've had it coming.
Hate begets hate.
All I wanna do is synchronize with you, babe. All I wanna do is synchronize with you. So Persona 5R came out, and I think it's really weird that every single copy of this game I've seen physically is the Steelbook release. That just seems extremely weird.
They're
Usually the
still releasing
Steelbook is
games?
like, huh?
They're still releasing games.
Yeah. They still sell them at Walmart. Walmart is still open. Oh yeah, I saw that post. That one's a really good post.
I feel like Walmart deserves to be the place that closes first. I mean, why would I ever want to step in there?
Because Walmart's also a grocery store. That's where that's where I do my grocery shopping. Genuinely.
I agree. I know that what I said was for comedy, but I understand that Walmart is a staple of American
I'm
society.
sorry I took so long.
If there was a fucking Safeway here, I would go there. But there's not a Safeway here, so.
Although my preference will always be like Publix, which you guys probably have never heard of. But,
What is it called?
Publix.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
also
I
this
know.
store called like Aldi's that I've seen, and apparently that's still open. I have no idea what it is.
Aldi's is a, if I'm correct, a German grocery store chain that decided
Oh.
to come to America and implemented a whole bunch of German ideas for a grocery store chain, which honestly I think works better because the store is smaller. It's just a grocery store.
That's
Uh,
pretty neat.
They don't have many carts, but all of the carts it's extremely easy to just like take a cart and put it back. Unlike how in Walmart you have like people bringing their back, pushing a bunch of carts all the way to the front and getting all that.
Yeah.
Hell work for people who live in Florida.
I imagine, yeah, especially right now.
Oh yeah. Well, no one's. Yeah. I mean, the first thing people do when they go out of Walmart is they put their stuff in their car, and then they close their car, and they look for a place to put their cart, and then they lay their cart in the middle
Bless
of the road.
you.
I hate it when people put their car in parking spaces. Also, bus you ready.
No, thank
I-
you. Oh,
I
that,
do that.
trust me, I hate that too. I saw someone who left it in like a space when it was completely surrounded by cars. It was like, you fucking asshole.
Yeah, I almost parked in one of those spaces today, I think. By the way, I have been more outside this past week than I have the past 2 months, and I hate it. It's the worst time.
I have barely gone out, thank God.
I have
And
already.
I
um,
am going stir crazy. I need a single other human being in my life. It's not my family.
I got unemployment money now.
That's cool. My mom told me not to apply to unemployment because so many people are going to apply for it.
Why would that be a problem?
Well,
I don't think I can since I haven't had a job since December.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. I haven't had a job since December either.
Well, did they like put you on leave of absence or did you quit?
I quit.
Okay, then you actually can't apply for it then. You have to be like still
Fired or
employed.
laid off. Oh, okay.
Fired, laid off, or like still employed or have recently left the job.
Oh, I see. Yeah, no, I
And
wouldn't be able to do
since
it.
I'm on temporary leave of absence, that means I apply to that.
All right.
I would encourage it like, hey, apply for unemployment. You kind of need to.
All right. So I think, are we all here?
Yep.
So,
Okay. Meet 27.
Alright, here we go. And then she opened her eyes. Opens
Hello.
her eyes. Not the Jade who just returned to me. The Jade living on Earth Sea, sleeping on a couch.
So this is what we're doing now?
She snaps awake. Her human hands are clammy, her face expressive due to the layers of flesh enveloping her skull. Appears haunted to her friends.
You want to do that one, North?
Oh
You can't see it when I'm
God,
smiling.
Jay, you okay? Callie, hurry, she's waking up.
John? Rose? Is Dave... What happened to...
Yo, it's cool. Dave's cool. Rose is cool. Everyone's just straight, chilling like usual.
I see how it is. You don't even intend to acknowledge me. Real fucking mature. If you're going to force the issue of this little meta-narrative tug-of-war between us, the least you could do is establish a clear adversarial dichotomy between our opposing goals.
Jade stares straight ahead, feeling the weight of Roxy's arms around her shoulders. She derives no warmth from the interaction. Her mind is being flooded by the memories of her deceased splintered self. The chaos of battle, the excruciating impalement, the feeling of floating alone to the void. A chill spreads through her body. She will never be the same again.
Actually, you know what? I think the Jade's doing just fine. She's a little wobbly when she gets off the couch, sure, a little metaphysically stunned, but pretty used to the sensation of having a doomed self fold into the extra space in her gray matter. You know, considering it's already happened before. Remember Jade Sprite? People always forget about Jade Sprite. So maybe we could stand to dial down the melodrama just a bit?
When Jade turns to look at Roxy, her eyes are completely black.
Whoa, what? The actual. Are you in there, Jade?
Oh. I'm just used to narration.
Jade does not answer. The dead cherub scans her surroundings, expression neutral. For the sake of clarity, the dead cherub is a phrase I am using in reference to myself. Presently, I inhabit Jade's body, and through her I may influence this world. I am enabled to convey events which take place here, and therefore confine the procession of causality to exist within a secure textual framework. My presence shall mitigate, if not altogether subdue, the corrosive effect on reality and the will of its occupants by those who would manipulate the way events are telegraphed for their own megalomaniacal objectives.
Okay, now you're just being passive-aggressive.
Despite his pretensions to a greater design, the Prince of Heart cannot be allowed to continue to exert unchecked control over the authoritative
Recitation.
Recitation of events on this side of my horizon. It cannot be overstated the extent to which he represents a threat to the continued existence of both this world and corporeal life itself.
Damn, you better watch it with those hot takes. You might mildly scald someone with observations this fresh.
The prince uselessly squirms and wails in protest at his imminent narrative impotence. However, there is nothing he can do as long as Jade remains in this trance.
Nah, I'm being as chill as a cucumber about this, considering you're vague blogging the shit out of my mythological approach to storytelling right where I can see it. Which is to say, directly into my fucking brain, apparently.
Calliope emerges from the kitchen carrying a bowl of cool water and a cloth. Jade turns her head to meet the sound of their footsteps.
I came back as fast as I could.
The bowl of water clatters to the floor. Calliope does not have human flesh, and thus cannot go pale. What drains from them is not color, but the comforting certainty of their very existence. They can sense the presence of their other self in Jade's body. Their timeline, fruitful, full of life and friends, sparks against mine, desolate, endless, Spartan with righteousness and resolve. Our divergent arcs collide in the primacy of their subconscious, bringing to the forefront of their mind the bleak fate they avoided by narrative flat alone. Calliope's distress is obvious. Roxy slides off the couch to approach them, but Calliope stumbles backwards in terror and trips in their desperation to escape. Roxy gapes at them.
Hey, Callie, what's going on? Calliope, it's okay. Just talk to me.
Calliope does not talk to them. Roxy looks to Calliope, then to Jade, sensing that there is a dark energy coursing between them.
Would the one of you just effing say something already?
Finally, Calliope lets out a shriek and flees the apartment. Roxy appears as if they intend to run after them, but finds himself drawn back to Jade. They return to the couch as an unnerved look begins to disturb their features. Jade says nothing. She gives no indication that I inhabit her body aside from the unusual appearance of her eyes. Anchoring myself here in this host is enough to serve my purpose. There's no need to operate this body beyond keeping it in reserve as a silent yet alert vessel for my cognizance. There are other priorities I must attend to. Cosmologically, the work is very important. The prince must be kept at bay.
The work? Getting some pretty self-important vibes here. Like maybe someone needs to get over herself? I was just having a little fun. Ever fucking hear that, dead skull girl? Didn't think so. This all feels really heavy-handed suddenly, like you're making a federal fucking issue out of what should be some light, entertaining stuff. Just a bunch of loser adults trying to be the people they grew up to be, in the best ways they know how. But no, I guess you know best, being an impossibly ancient alien recluse with virtually no exposure to human culture, emotion, or values. Yeah, go ahead, just take over, sounds fine.
The prince finds that his hold on the narrative is slipping through his hands. There is an old myth in Earth culture about katanas that if you keep the blade wetted in a mirror sheen, it can cut a silk scarf falling through the air cleanly in two. His hold over our perceptions shall be served just as elegantly.
Yo, I get that you're attempting to spin a metaphor both relevant and specific to my self-made symbology here, and I appreciate the effort, I really do, but I just cannot stand by and let you shamelessly spread such irresponsible information on a subject so near and dear to my heart. The katana is a cutting weapon. Inert, it's harmless. Deceptively so, you might even say. The most dangerous things appear banal when inert. That's just basic physics. It's actually the motion of the katana that makes...
Roxy sets the cool cloth on Jade's forehead and frowns. They are worried and confused, but determined to care for their friend.
Hey, I'm in the middle of turning your apocryphal metaphor into something with substantive allegorical weight here. I'd appreciate it if you would...
In his haste to manipulate the events surrounding doomed Jade's ascent toward an outcome favorable to himself, the prince has unwittingly revealed several glaring weaknesses. By dictating the reality of others through expressions which he and he alone can relate to, he resorts to comparing all experiences to his own. Presuming his status on this side of my horizon would forever go unchallenged. His hubris went unchecked. He exposed too much of himself to all who could observe his wanton display of self-gratification. Many of his personal biases and experiences have leaked through the seams of textual causality, leaving them vulnerable to exploitation by an adversary. Experiences such as the sensation of presiding over a vast, empty ocean. His ocean, which terminates with his horizon. It is a barrier not real, but psychological, symbolic. No matter how much power he achieves as a man, he knows that our horizons he perceived as a boy, which he may never cross. And yet I have crossed mine, with the express purpose of perpetually and eternally reminding him of his limits, and of enforcing them. Limits, which like his vast, empty ocean serve to remind him that he is phenomenologically, if not literally, alone, that he has experienced loneliness intimately and absolutely just like I have, but unlike me, he is terrified by it. And I, unlike him, understand all too well that the children left alone are those who most despair at being ignored.
Fuck you. I fucking hate you. You're fucking boring. Your narrative voice is a total fucking drag, and someday I'm going to make you pay for this.
There. Can you hear it? Of course you can't. But if even you could, it would sound like nothing at all.
So what do we think of that chapter? Honestly, I'm kind of sick of fucking reading them. I'm just gonna do the ratings, and I'm not gonna, like, write any text here on forward for my fucking ratings on Twitter, because I just like talking about it here. I think it's better. I thought that they kind of... There was a lot of talk that overall... I don't know. I didn't really feel much when I listened to that. It didn't feel significant. Like, sure, they've got something going on here. They've got these dueling narrators. It's a cool concept.
It's not even dueling. She literally kicked his ass out.
Yeah, but, like, also, they're just saying a bunch of nothing. Like, they're pretending they have a point, but there's nothing there. Like, sure, you have these metaphors of things, but that's not in any way indicative. I didn't rate 26.
I don't know if they're saying a bunch of nothing. I mean, for me, at the end of that, I got what she was saying, like, but I was also reading and getting into it, so, like, for me, when she was talking about what was going on, when in his narration, he's obviously putting a bunch of himself into it. But for him, that's giving like entertainment to the narration. But for some reason, she reads that as weakness, and she reads it as, "Oh, you still have horizons you need to cross. You basically aren't at your full potential. So get good and then come talk to me."
Yeah, which is kind of horseshit, considering the entire point is that Dirk has gotten rid of his limits. He doesn't have those anymore.
Except they're telling you now that he still apparently has limits. If
There's always
she's
limits.
able to kick his ass out.
Haven't you seen an anime before?
Haven't I seen what?
An anime before? There's always limits.
That's
you go
true.
from the one limit, and then you go to the next limit, and then the next one, and the next one, and eventually you beat God. That's how it works, and that's how Homestuck is, I guess, now. Which is,
I'm gonna give this and 27 both a 1 out of 2 because narrative dueling is a cool concept, and I like how it plays out when we voice act it. But beyond that, I don't really care.
Mine now.
And I gotta put M27 because I forgot to put M26.
Got Squiddles playing.
Oh fuck, the Squiddles is playing. I didn't even notice because it actually fits kind of well. You'd be surprised, Squiddles is actually a pretty chill album. It's not like little kiddie music, although there is some of that. And even then, that stuff's entertaining too.
I don't listen to music for babies. I don't listen to strong music.
Okay,
There's
Aquarius.
something I noticed when it comes to like the design of Squiddles, but it's like they got like a skull. Honestly, it looks like it's a skull and then tentacles.
The whole thing is that, like, you probably think that because the first time you fucking saw one was Rose's shirt, which was originally a Squiddle.
Yeah.
No, not just that, but also like Calliope's skull is shaped like that.
Oh fuck. Oh fuck, I didn't even realize that. Holy shit.
Oh, you didn't realize that Jake's shirt is also a squidble?
Oh fuck. Now we're opening up the real.
You did not realize this.
Squiddles are the key to everything.
I genuinely didn't actually.
Also, all the
Jesus
Squiddle
Christ.
colors on that cover are the colors
Your
of the main
eyes.
characters.
You lose your right to your eyes.
The
now.
orange one and the green one are interlocked together. I
Oh
feel like
my-
those colors are symbolic.
Wait a minute. Rose, Juniper, Dave, Jake, Dirk, Jade. No wait. Then who's yellow? Where's Jade?
No, Solix.
Oh god, that's Solix. Fuck yeah.
And Solix, he's here. Wow.
He's just there, yeah.
The most important character.
It's alt Dirk and original Dirk. That's why the yellow one's laughing. Because the yellow one's alt Dirk.
I tweeted on Twitter earlier today. I said, I propose that we differentiate Alt Dirk not by calling him Alt Dirk, but by calling him Cis Dirk.
Nah, I would call him Dark. That's
Dad
Dark.
Dirk.
Dork.
I wonder if anybody's
Yeah.
actually in the stream. Let me refresh because I see a bunch of people liking the tweet. Crazy Cynical. Hey, Crazy Cynical. Hey, Commander Root. Okay.
Well,
Oh wait,
Commander's a bot,
whoa!
actually.
Commander Root. I think those are people from my GG streaming team.
Oh shit, does it still... Oh, wait a minute. No, it wouldn't.
No,
My streams still go in that fucking Dragon server,
I
right?
get one in my thing all the time.
Commander Root is definitely from my GG streaming team.
Oh, okay. Huh. How about that? Hello, Commander Root.
Hello.
Welcome to my story. Except, Hmm. I don't see Dirk here. Oh dear. I see some small orange text, so I'm just going to turn down my volume. Oh, that's what I did, by the way. I turned down my volume in OBS whenever the text got smaller.
Oh, when the text is smaller, you have to yell louder.
I mean, I could... Oh, turn my volume down and then yell louder?
Yeah, like Dirk is screaming.
That'd be pretty funny. Okay, I'm going to turn my volume down now. Epilogue 5, Meet 28.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Wait, why does it say epilogue 5?
They're like separated into chapters, but like...
Well, it's not called the epilogue, it's called the epilogues, and that's why there's multiple epilogues.
Within each epilogue, it's stupid.
Which is stupid, whatever, I don't care. Look, I'm funny. I can make things have more.
More.
Okay, my voice is lower in OBS.
Okay, oh, do we start?
Yes.
I have to start this. Frick, I have to start this. Okay. Alright. Okay. How long have you been watching?
Long enough to smell you flailing about like a wiggler while talking to Jade Shoes.
Oh. Awkward.
She stares at John for some time, a curious expression on her face. She says nothing for long enough that John begins to wonder if she has any use for him at all. Will she offer one last barbed jest before vanishing from his life again, for good this time? He hopes he means more to her than that, especially after all the trying experiences they've shared. And he does mean more to her than that. Her hesitation isn't meant to make him feel unwelcome. She's simply processing what she is seeing. Something is off about him. John, do not take this personally, although I do absolutely mean it personally. But you smell like shit. It isn't his unseemly appearance she finds surprising. He is gravely wounded, but it's not that either. Something else is different about him. Different, somehow, from how she thought he'd be when she imagined they'd next meet. Under all the gore, he smells too fresh. She decides to keep her observations to herself, lest she cause this ailing version of John more confusion.
Yeah, well, you smell like
Shit.
too.
I assume that you are correct, being that I've been out here for a certain amount of time. That of?
Oh no! Oh no, she broke cork. We've got...
Why is it?
You have to say of really quiet.
Being that I've been out here for a certain amount of time with limited access to food and water, but I think that your situation is a bit more serious than mine, as you seem to be bleeding to death from a tooth in your chest. John laughs, exposing his 2 rows of disarmingly dull human teeth, signature characteristics of his smile.
Oh, this? It says only a flesh wound. Haha.
Yes, John. Generally, wounds tend to happen to the flesh.
No, see, it's a movie reference. There's this knight, and he keeps losing the fight that he's in, but he refuses to give up. So when they cut off his arms and legs and stuff, he keeps acting like it's no big deal. And to remain defiant, he keeps saying stuff like, "It's only a flesh wound."
Is that the title of the movie?
No, the movie's called Monty Python. It actually kind of sucks. Movies from the 90s are so much better.
That's not even the full title of the movie, and how dare you? It's good.
I don't even know why I'm quoting this.
Crap.
I must be really, really bad shape here.
Terezi tips her head to one side, with what John personally regards as a cute expression. One he believes is unique to her. Whether he's correct or not, it's his belief that there is no one else who emotes in this manner. It's both quizzical and mocking, 2 descriptors that he considers to be an apt summation of her personality as well. John pauses, reflecting on the word cute. as it passes through his mind. He wonders if this is really what he thinks of Terezi without influence, without delirium, without mistaking one emotion for another. But it is what he thinks of her, quite truthfully. I have no desire to interject thoughts onto others' minds or to sway intent, nor do I see value in masking the reality of the emotions that I transcribe. This is how he feels. His mind, however, has made a habit of being less clear about his thoughts than I am willing to be. John would be mortified with human embarrassment if he could understand the clarity and precision with which I am willing to telegraph his thoughts. But his embarrassment is irrelevant to me. As always, the truth is paramount. John thinks Terezi is very cute. He always has. He thinks she's small for how big she talks, and has a nose that resembles a button. These qualities he regards as particularly adorable due to their sharp contrast with her harsh and incisive demeanor. John recalls the concept of gap moe, a term which the prince, speaking from his highly self-aggrandized position as a scholar of ancient Asian earth lore, once explained to mean a charming, measured discrepancy between one's archetypical appearance and idiosyncratic personal attributes. Terezi is definitely cute, John decides. The conclusion is now at the forefront of his mind.
I can't fucking believe this.
But he still resists, doubts himself. Perhaps it's even weirder to frame it this way. He wonders. He fears he is in danger of seeming like the type of creepy human male who is likely to collect large pillows bearing the illustrated images of Japanese earth females. To me, this idea means nothing, but it is causing him to sweat. He is worried that these are the thoughts entertained by a man of low character, by perhaps a scoundrel. His worries are interrupted as Terezi floats over and flicks him on the forehead.
Don't strain yourself thinking too hard there, Egbert.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, that was a dumb metaphor. It's one of those Earth things that's probably impossible for an alien to understand. Maybe it's the blood loss. I'm probably making a fool of myself here.
John, your monkey python anecdote was vintage Egbert tier adore stupidity.
Adora stupid.
Don't worry about it. Besides, on Alternia, it would be considered weird for someone to stop a fight just for losing a limb.
Really?
Yeah. If someone in the military ran away just for that, they'd probably get cold.
Wow. Alternia sucked.
Yeah.
Suddenly, Terezi sways, feeling woozy. John reaches out to catch her shoulders, steadies her. Now closer, he examines her face in detail. Her complexion is chalky. Compared to humans, trolls have little color to lose. When they feel ill, there's a pallor to them, a dusty quality running deeper than the surface of their skin.
Whoa! Are you okay?
Of course not. John, I am in the process of starving to death. Didn't I just say I've been out here for a long time?
Alright. I'm just worried about you.
Dumbass.
You don't need to jump down my throat for every little thing.
I'm sorry.
Just... how long have you been out here, Terezi?
I have no idea. Time passes differently here, and not always in a straight line. Sometimes it feels like I've been here 100 sweeps, and I'm not even sure that's not true. It's hard to stay anchored.
That's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Here, look. I found my dad's wallet floating out here, like...
Oh my god. Alright, keep going.
Fucking.
randomly? Can you believe that? Well, let's see if there's any food in it.
She hesitates, weighing her temptation to playfully antagonize John against the virtue of sincere expression. There are times she worries the latter may be more appropriate.
Thanks, Egbert.
No problem. We're friends, Trezzy. It's not like I'm going to let you die out here just because we bicker sometimes. You don't have to be so on guard. Actually, I'm glad to see you. I've been thinking about you a lot lately. Like,
When John opens the wallet, the first thing he sees stored in the capacious modus is a spare car. His ever-prepared father must have capture-logged a second one as a backup. Perhaps, as John speculates, in case his primary vehicle got a flat tire.
Backup car.
You what, John?
Hold that thought. Check this out.
John deploys the spare car. It looks brand new, like the day his father brought the other one back from the dealership. It strikes John as the first bit of good luck he's had all day. Terezi is less impressed.
Is this pathetically primitive four-wheel device edible? Or am I misunderstanding something here?
No, it's just that I...
John's vision is dark and blurry around the edges. He is reminded he is not in perfect physical condition either and could use a moment of rest. He climbs onto the trunk of the car, assuming a sitting position with his legs dangling in front of the bumper. He exhales, then turns to look at Terezi. He pats the place beside him, inviting her to sit. She looks skeptically but relents, shimmying up next to him on the chrome. She shrugs out of the strap of her rocket pack. They sit silently for several minutes, shoulders 2 inches apart. The atmosphere is thin and chilly. Below their dangling feet, the black hole looms, watching them. Above, the sky seems to stretch on more infinitely than a typical infinite expanse, without being boxed in by the properties of space or time. John observes Terezi watching the sky. The light flickers, meteoric, over her sharp features. It casts pools of shadows beneath her eyes and in the dip of her neck. His innocent thoughts continue, with the cautious yet growing confidence of a skittish animal creeping out of the woods. It is confident only in his surety of being unobserved. Like this, he does not think she's cute at all. No, she's beautiful. This vision of her is haunting to him.
It's really a mess out here, isn't it?
Yeah.
He opens the wallet again, both to search for something edible and to take his eyes away from her. Objects begin appearing around him as he leafs through the cards. A crumpled fedora, a silk tie, his father's backup cufflinks.
What are you doing out here anyways?
What do you think I'm doing out here? Looking for Vriska, of course.
Still?
What do you mean, still?
Well, it's been years, at least from my perspective it has. What have you seen since you started looking? There's just nothing out here. Not anymore. If you haven't found her yet, I hate to say it, but she's probably not here. I mean, she went to fight Lord English, right? I was just there, and I didn't see her. I'm pretty sure everyone who was there is dead now. I wouldn't be surprised if we're the only 2 people left alive out here.
Terezi stares at him with her wide red eyes.
Years?
Yeah. Oh, a year is about half a...
I know that, fool!
Oh.
It's just sinking in. How time has passed differently for us.
Right.
Time not in the literal sense of seconds passing by, but progress. You've changed so much, and all I've done is waste my entire lifespan walking in circles.
Hey, let's not throw in the towel just yet. So, do you think... Do I actually look that much different to you?
She leans in close to sniff him carefully.
You smell older, but not as old as I thought you'd be.
What does that mean?
Don't worry about it. Oh, what is that?
Terezi appears delighted. She quickly snatches something out of his open wallet. It is a can of human shaving cream. She clutches it with covetous desperation, her mouth watering.
Tracy, no. That's not food!
John, it's too late. She sprays the airy white foam directly into her mouth. She's slurping the earth product known as barbasol greedily, groaning in pleasure as it runs down her chin in viscid, frothy rivers. John's eyes bulge at the unappetizing spectacle. He watches with a strange mixture of disgust and fondness. He briefly wonders about the caloric value of the foam. However, regardless of its nutritional merit, it does appear to have restored some of her vigor. So he decides not to interfere. He feels a twinge of pain in his chest and considers it may be on account of missing her so greatly. But no. It's just my brother's tooth, lodged deep in his chest, spreading its poison. It really should be extracted before it's too late.
You feel better?
Yes.
That's good. But personally speaking, I feel like total.
Shit.
I think we should go back home. I mean,
No.
She grabs him by the shirt. Her voice begins to waver. He notices desperation in the dark circles under her eyes.
Please, John. Can we just stay a little longer?
His mind knows he must say no. His sense of self-preservation insists on it, but he simply can't. He redoubles his effort to ignore the pain. He fights back tears. She can sense his great struggle, but says nothing. With a tilt of his head, he gestures toward the car.
Okay. We can stay a little longer. Why don't you rest in the back seat so you can save your energy? I'll drive. But not literally drive, but you know.
Trezzy crawls in back, while John floats into the driver's seat. He summons a gust of wind to propel the car through the decaying medium, as he once did on the battlefield so long ago. Trezzy closes her eyes the moment her head hits the seat. She snores heavily. John makes a concerted effort not to be creepy about it, but his own estimation of the word's meaning yet cannot stop looking at her in the rearview mirror. He tells himself it's just to make sure she's still breathing, that it's just to make sure she's actually there.
Fuck.
So what do we think of that chapter?
Not bad.
What's the
I feel
name
like
of
John's gonna fucking die.
what's the name of the back of the car where you put all the groceries? I can't remember the name of it.
The trunk?
Trunk.
She crawls into the trunk.
That did happen, but there's a back seat too.
Trunk Resi.
Trunk race.
Trunk right.
I thought that it was pretty good. I kind of want to get back to Dirk narrating.
You're stuck with this red.
I know.
I have good news because I just looked at the next chapter.
Oh boy, I'm excited. But overall,
Oh, he's here.
It's your boy.
it was alright. I'd give that like a 0.5. I'm detracting it points for what am I detracting it points for?
Yeah, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
I know that it's point.
Your
No.
point system means nothing, so you can do whatever you want. I give this 1 billion bitcoins.
Out of 2?
Out of 2 what? I didn't say what the rating was.
It's fine. Okay, sure. I guess I'll give this like a 0.7 out of 2. I like John and Terezi talking. That's pretty nice. I'm a little anxious about what's gonna happen next. Both because I know what's going to happen, but I don't know how it's gonna play out, and those things terrify me when in conjunction.
I know what's going to happen. I don't think you'll like it.
Yeah, no, I don't. I might not.
I'll be here though. Being absolutely nonplussed of everything that's happening.
You really are a champion of that. I'll give you that. Also, I've changed my descriptions to just watch the streams for my rankings.
You know, if you were nice, you'd put a little thing like a in the frickin' description.
If that was
button you click.
If that was something I could do, if I could edit a tweet to post the link afterwards, I would absolutely do that.
You can just reply to the tweet.
I mean, yeah, but it's all one big thread.
Reply to the thread.
Oh. Ugh.
Well, what I was thinking was you'd reply to the thread with the video, but the video, there'd be like a link that goes to that specific point where you get
Yeah.
your opinion on.
I might do that.
This.
Huh? Oh yeah.
I like how fast we're moving through it.
So what did you
Also,
think? Oh yeah. What's going on?
You could have people watch it to find out and get that delicious view money.
Yeah. Even though I don't have AdSense, I don't have AdSense connected to that YouTube account.
Me neither. For mine, at least. I should.
I think I have AdSense connected to one of my accounts, but I didn't use it for anything monetary, so I didn't bother.
I don't know if remixes are monetarily kind of like.
I mean, you can fucking find Sonic remixes all over Spotify.
Yeah, but that's Spotify.
And also, like if they're not like legitimate or whatever, like the originality of the song isn't to a certain degree, they can take it down. Like it'll be on there for a little bit, but then it'll.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, so do not monetize at all. Okay, thank you.
I'm just not gonna bother.
I want money.
Hey Rainy, you want to do Jane? Congratulations, you've been Jane assigned.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
I mean, I can do it if you want.
I'm
I
sorry.
didn't want to just randomly assign a role. Sorry.
Well, too bad you did. I'm Jane now.
God damn it! It's too late for me to undo my mistake. This boulevard of broken dreams. Meet 20. Jesus Christ! This music is the least fitting shit I've ever heard.
The squiddles.
Hello.
The song is called Squid Diddle. Squid. So I'm gonna move to Carcat's theme, which is the da 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 da.
Yes, we all know how Carcat's theme goes.
I know, I just like it. Meet 29.
The elevator to Jane's office opens, and she stumbles inside. The last traces of trickster mode are bleeding off her aura. The great gift of this sacred boon has run its course for the evening, and though she is not as grateful as she should be, she nevertheless acknowledges the extraordinary benefit it has afforded her with a slight nod to the mirror. She pulls a hand through her hair, watching in the reflection as the last of the pink coloration fades to black. She has been campaigning this way for some time now. In fact, it's been over a week since she was last seen in public without the aura bestowed to her by the divine lollipop Juju. There are many benefits to trickster mode, in that it imbues one with an endless supply of enthusiasm and supernatural positivity. Additionally, it prevents one from dwelling on any given personal problems or the greater implications of any political statements one might make. However, while a great portion of the electorate adores Jane's elevated sense of charisma and presence when she is in trickster mode, as they should, there are just as many detractors who claim that the whole thing is extremely problematic. I doubt this is true, but must also acknowledge it exceeds the scope of my expertise to comment on the subject.
Oh my goodness, it's not problematic.
Jane erupts alone in the elevator, seemingly talking to herself. She appears to be responding to her own inner monologue, which I, admittedly, am presently conducting. She appears to agree with me on this matter. The Juju has truly blessed her with great wisdom.
I have endured this argument for years, and I honestly cannot see a single thing about it that could even be thinly construed as problematic. Furthermore, despite the fact that I empathetically do not find it to be problematic, I have in the past politely refrained from indulging in the profane pleasures of the trickster lollipop out of respect for those who do find offense to it. However, citizens of the human kingdom delight in my tricksty antics, and what kind of politician would I be if I were to deny my core voting demographic that sort of red meat? Or candy, I suppose.
Just a little drug for the campaign. Thank you, Hatron.
Oh, virtues. To imply that I super callously and recklessly stoking potentially dangerous cultural fires is honestly an insult. I am guilty of only one crime, energizing my base.
She is saying it better than I could possibly say it myself. It is unusually gratifying to witness a human with such high regard for hallowed cultural artifacts and the unparalleled blessing they bestow upon lesser beings.
Wait, who am I talking to?
Jane rubs her eyes under the glasses and groans. Trickster mode is also quite exhausting. What a strange quirk of human biology that exceeds euphoria must necessarily be followed by crippling despair. She carelessly tosses the lollipop on the floor, lurches toward her desk. No. She turns around promptly, her body jolted by the surprise of her sudden reversal. She bends over, cradles the lollipop reverentially, and situates it carefully in a place signifying respect, atop the mantel. After clearing space for it by shoving several brittle, worthless objects to the floor, only then does she drag herself to her desk, her legs shaking as if she has just run a great distance. The moment she sits down, her phone begins to ring.
Yes.
Yo, don't spend too much time in trickster mode.
Is that all you have to say?
In general, not by a long shot, but pertaining to this specific issue, yeah, because you should know better. At this rate, you'll burn yourself out before we even go to the ballots. Can you just trust me on this, for once? I'm a bit too preoccupied at this exact moment to turn my chair backwards and rap at you about the dangers of dope.
I know what I'm doing, Dirk. I do need to remind you that all of this was initially my idea.
In that case, how about we tap into some of that outrageous political acumen of yours, dial back on the manic pixie dream candidate bullshit, and focus a little more on substantive policy speeches?
Oh, come on. Dirk, both you and I know that this isn't how politics work. Wait a minute, not works.
Yeah, you're right. I can't believe I actually said that with a straight face.
You say everything with a straight face.
Another fair point. See, Jane, this is why you're going to clean his fucking clock in the debates. All I'm saying is there are better ways to go about unscrupulously manipulating the electorate than burning through your entire lifetime supply of dopamine.
Like perhaps gaining an ever vaunted endorsement of one Jake English?
Exactly.
You know, the last time we spoke about this issue, I could have sworn you asked me to let you handle Jake.
I guess I did say that.
Dirk, are you doing quite okay? It's very unlike you to forget details like that.
I'm fine, Jane.
The prince is not fine. He is not the type who takes well to having his plans upended, or his control of a shared vehicle fully suppressed. My brother wasn't much that type either.
Oh, fuck off. I'm nothing like that guy.
You getting mad? Huh?
Are you mad? I'm not mad. Are you mad? I'm not mad. You're mad!
Forget it. Forget it. I'm talking to someone else.
Who? Is someone else there with you?
No. It's nobody. Let's just drop it, okay?
Yet, unfortunately for everyone in the corporeal realm, the prince isn't the type to overlook the need for backup plans either. He devises contingencies for both success and failure. Wheels within wheels, as he likes to imagine. In his workshop, the prince machinates, while the seer both diminishes and ascends. He's being careful to make sure the precise nature of his activity is obscure. He closes his mind to all observation. He scatters many stray parts across his work table and busies himself with a variety of misleading mechanical tests to hide the true intent of his schemes from me. But certain objects and actions strike me as more notable than others. That very long red rifle on the table, for instance. A weapon that does not belong to him and has not been used in a long time. He's been returning to the rifle between his other menial activities of probable misdirection. He dismantles it, reassembles it, slides off the receiver cover to examine the firing mechanism. The prince clearly believes he is a very clever boy. My brother did too.
Christ. So, on the Jake issue, unfortunately my influence is a little limited at the moment. Oh,
They're gone. They're
Sky,
gone.
Sky, you want to take over? Are you saying words I can't tell? The thing is green, but I don't hear anything.
Wow.
Oh no, let me.
Oh, there you go. I can hear you now.
Okay, okay, I can be heard.
Yes.
Okay, who do you want me to read for?
Jane.
Jane. Okay, let me.
After
what was the
limited
other
at the
one?
moment.
I'm so lost.
Meet 29.
Meet 29, limited at the
and-
moment.
Yeah, that
You're
joke's
lying.
saying limited, and
Okay,
then
got
thing
it.
is. What does that mean?
What does that mean?
A whole lot of bullshit that I don't have the time or patience to explain right now. All you need to know is that I'm working on a solution to both my problem and yours. Until then, you should figure out how to get Jake to, at the very least, avoid taking a side.
Actually, I have been thinking. Perhaps this moment to get Jake on our side is the wrong angle from which to approach this vexing problem. Wouldn't it be easier to discredit or blackmail him? He is much beloved in the Troll Kingdom for his carefully cultivated posterior, true, but we both know that his bottom is not the only intimate attribute for which he is famed amongst trollish citizens. It would take almost nothing to expose his many dalliances through the human media.
I'm back.
Oh boy. Sorry, that wasn't at you, Randy. It was just a
No,
line.
That was a
I
dead
was
one.
reading along still.
I know.
Oh boy.
Shall I continue, or do you want Sky to keep going?
You can continue.
Okay. Let's see. I know, not to be judgmental, but his zipper is as loose as his pants are tight.
That's not what I meant by who boy.
You don't think it would work?
Oh, it could work. A certain illusion of boyish innocence is an important part of his brand. You could contrast that innocence with the gyrating of his sinewy thighs, beaming raw, sweaty sexuality right into the camera on live TV 5 nights a week. That's what makes Jake English work as a marketable commodity. The tension between the two, the inherent friction there. He's gotta look coy as all get out. Like he has no idea how sexy he is. Like if you actually got him into bed, he'd completely disintegrate into a blushing mess of hesitation and sexless uncertainty.
Wow. I've never heard anything more pretentious in my life.
Preposterous.
Fuck.
Yeah, well, his fans get off on it.
So what's the problem?
The part of your plan that involves exposing his promiscuity with the trolls in order to hurt his chances with the humans vote, and thereby framing interspecies sex as an inherently scandalous thing to do, or as an inherently scandalous thing. I don't know, Jane. That sounds pretty fucking xenophobic.
Ah, not again. What isn't xenophobic?
Well, for one thing, what you just said there, probably also xenophobic.
What?
Sorry, that's just how it is. You either gotta roll with the woke shit, or decide to commit laborious, symbolic, melodramatic suicide in the process of utterly giving up. Yes, it is confusing, but that's why you're lucky to have me as your top advisor and strategist.
The prince appears to have discarded the pretense of misdirection at his work table and is focused solely on the red rifle. He clicks the casing back into place. He sets the weapon on his shoulder so he can test the view through the scope. The setting sun bounces off the slick red metal and slices a bar of light across the wall behind him.
Dirk, do you want me to deal with Jake or not? You've offered nothing helpful yet, but you've shot down all my ideas.
That's because lately, all your ideas have been fucking terrible, Jane. Seriously, you've got to quit the trickster pop. It's rotting your brain.
Said the heathen, the cur, a true Philistine. Jane's head swivels sharply to look at the juju on the mantel. She admires it longingly, piously. She will never relinquish her priceless boon, no matter what reprehensible lies the prince whispers into her ear.
Then what do you want me to do?
Play defense for a while. Like I said, I've got some cakes in the oven, so to speak. But we can't set them on the cooling plate just yet. So go make some fondue in the meantime.
That says fondant?
I know.
Fondue
I
is
don't know what.
cheese.
I'm pretty.
Fondue,
Oh my God.
I thought maybe it was like a misdirection. What does this word fucking mean?
Yes, let's put fondue on cake.
This is just as stupid.
Well, no, it makes it easier for decorating than frosting.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Okay. Look, it made sense in my head, and
I will
really,
say this,
what else matters
fondant
besides that?
tastes terrible.
Okay.
Jane frowns. The baking metaphor felt like one
Contrived.
contrived purely for her benefit, and therefore condescending, and yet she hates how effective it was. She laments her own weakness for being so easily swayed by a well-delivered baking comparison. She lets the prince go and begins making her own plans. In his workshop, the prince lines up an imaginary shot. He pulls the trigger, listening to the pieces within slide and click together in a satisfying concert of metallic sounds, impeccably assembled, perfectly greased. The gun is not loaded, but the shot goes off without a hitch. What do you think you're up to, Prince?
Your ass is mine, Jake English.
He speaks under his breath and audibly, perhaps frustrated, unaccustomed to scheming while others look over his shoulder. It's possible he is not as bold, or as confident in his own designs as I believed.
I fucking said your ass is mine, Jake English.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
So I like that Dirk is back. I like that I like that there's actually sort of a real rivalry here now that both of them are actually in the fucking story at the same time. That said, it's average 1.5 out of 2, I guess. Actually, 1.2 out of 2. This is gonna be fucking hell to add up at the end. Everybody else's thoughts?
I like
it.
It's alright.
I like how frustrated Dirk was getting.
frustrated Dirk.
Your ass is mine, Jake English.
That line in particular was like, oh boy. With what we were given right now, it feels like he's about to go kill Jake.
Maybe.
He's really possessive of that ass.
One of the two. Or both.
Possessive.
Yeah, baby.
It was good.
Okay. Okay, let me change the thing. This will be our last one for the night, I think.
Yep.
And the next time we'll be going back to Candy. Excuse me.
So, this is a kind of a long one. Let's strap in.
Ugh. Ugh. Oh yeah. Meet 30. Shit, who's Jake? I
You
guess.
should probably take it.
Oh, chaps, don't you love to take a rigorous... No. Is that too much? Is that too much? Oh, chaps.
That sounded.
Oh, chaps, don't you love to take a rigorous jaunt about the wilds first thing in the morning, middle thing in the day, and last thing in the evening?
No.
Carcat both looks and feels uncomfortable in his red and gray suit. He is tired from an afternoon of campaigning in the consort kingdom. Jake is jaunting rigorously, as he put it, up the ridge of the mountain behind his mansion. Every now and then he pauses to accommodate the pace of his less limber friends.
By Jove, Carcat, that you are... By Jove, Carcat, that you are so winded by such little activity is truly alarming.
We've been hiking for a fucking hour, dipshit. I can already feel my legs starting to lock up. I think they're getting a head start on the rigor mortis. Because you're fucking killing me, is what I'm saying. by making me hike through nature in a fucking suit. Great work, everyone. You'll be offered up a pre-assassinated president to a frenzied electorate. Awesome strategy.
Perhaps you need a better calisthenics routine. I can suggest several alterations to your morning workout and even give you...
voice?
No. I was going for like kind of a deep but also light voice, but
You
I'm
were
kind
of slipping into the
That
cat.
was Calliope.
of... Well...
Just lean really
Don't
hard into
worry
the
about it.
accent.
Perhaps you need a better calisthenics routine. I can suggest several alterations to your morning workout and even give you a lesson or two myself.
My morning workout? I couldn't think of a more offensively presumptuous phrase if I tried. Also, what the fuck is calisthenic? Is that the name of your fan cherub?
Karkat's tirade is interrupted as he trips over a protruding tree root. Dave, who has been cheating on their hike by hovering very slightly off the ground rather than walking, catches Karkat before his face hits the dirt. He sets his companion upright and continues to guide him with his hand on his back as he walks, the way an older human does with a small child who is learning to ride a bicycle.
Hey Jake, we're cool on the whole cardio program or whatever. Karkat's not really what I'd call a kinesthetic learner.
Hey, I can hold my own in a threshing match better than 99% of the squishy, placid human population on this planet. I was literally training to be a combat specialist on Alternia. Maybe we should sometimes try to remember and fucking respect that fact about me?
Gonna make another mental note about which material to avoid when writing your campaign missions. Like, dude is nuts with a sickle. Can carve a bloody arc through a surrounding circle of gathered squishy humans. Watch their guts spill on the floor while he roars in the sky in honor of his genocidal ancestors. We're kind of trying to downplay the idea that trolls are naturally good at violence and shit here. Hey, speaking of which, Jake, you want to back Karkat in this election or what?
Jake spins around in his worn boots. He bites his lip and looks at the ground.
Oh, I see. That was your purpose in coming out here.
Yeah, that is basically the only reason either of us would waste time climbing a mountain instead of, like, almost perfectly replicating the experience by checking out sweet stock photos of a mountain on the CrockerNet image search while spraying our hive with air freshener or something. Oh hey, wait, that reminds me. Isn't it fucked up how Jane literally owns the internet?
I never really thought about it, I admit.
It's pretty fucked up, trust me. Like, she already owns the major method of information decimation, and now she wants to be the one ultimately in control of what information gets decimated. Do you really think one person should have all that power? Karkat.
My internet cut out for a minute there.
Oh, okay. Welcome back. We're at the Karkat line.
The answer is no, idiot!
Yeah, which is why you should back us and our campaign. Our campaign slogan for the purpose of this conversation only is, hey, isn't it cool how we're not Jane and also we don't want to own everything? And also, man, on a more personal note, I mean, have you ever seen the shit Jane's been saying about you in the media?
A look of sadness sweeps across Jake's face, but he quickly turns it into a glare of indignation.
I've seen the shit you've been saying about her! Your poorly optimized billboards about huge dunks on the economy and neoliberal austerity measures tumbling down geometrically improbable staircases have made quite a stir in the neighborhood. These advertisements play at all hours of the night, my good man. One can hardly get a wink of sleep. Turn off your fucking TV, dude.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Just turn off your
Yeah,
fucking
but we
TV.
paid for it out of campaign dollars instead of spinelessly setting up super PACs to spew out propaganda for us.
Super PACs?
Oh yeah, listen to this bullshit. So they're technically expenditure independent committees, meaning they can allocate unlimited fundings for.
covers Dave's mouth, having had the concept of the super PAC laboriously explained in his presence more than once. In his estimation, there are a few individuals on this world who would benefit less from an in-depth discussion of political financing procedure than Jake English.
Look, Dave, Jake really doesn't care what a super PAC is. I don't think anyone cares about fucking super PACs. I know you put a lot of work into your spiel about it, especially the rapt sequence, but you're never going to get anybody to give a fuck about this stuff, man. I'm sorry. Jake, the point is this. Jane is having you smeared indirectly.
Well, that would be the way to do it, I suppose, if you wish to keep clean hands in an inherently dirty business.
Dave
What the
peels
fuck are you
Carcat's
saying,
hand off his
dude?
mouth.
Sorry, go ahead.
Dave peels Carcat's hand off his mouth and bumps him away with his hip, so that he may continue saying things he regards as terribly important for others to hear.
Okay, but that's partially my point. We're doing all our propaganda in-house instead of outsourcing the unscrupulous shadow networks with deep money pockets.
For better or for worse.
What does that mean?
As much as I appreciate your artistic vision, Dave, I think that your political ads are largely going over people's heads. They're kind of...
Bold?
No.
Oh, you mean avant-garde. Well, yeah, everybody knows that.
Not really how I would put it either.
Nuanced? Oh, wait. Visionary. You think they're visionary as fuck. Oh, yeah, you got me. I'm a forward thinker, Carcat. This is just what life is like in the Dave lane. Buckle the fuck up.
Jesus fucking Christ, I'm going to say this for the last time. Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff is absolutely horrendous subject matter for producing campaign ads. Nobody knows what the fuck you're talking about, or what points you're trying to make.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You're wasting campaign money!
We're fucking trillionaires, dude.
As the Vantis campaign bickers internally, Jake becomes pensive, thoughtful. He kicks a rock over the edge of the trail and watches it bounce down the mountain with a baleful expression.
Willikers, Dave, has anyone ever told you that you have an uncanny talent for cutting straight and incisively to the point without sweating any of the bullshit? You're rather like Duck in that way, actually.
What?
Dave is good at cutting through bullshit. Strider is a fog machine of pure bullshit. There's nothing that comes out of his mouth that is not bullshit.
That's basically true.
And I'm pretty sure Dirk might be even worse.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sorry, Jake. I know we're soliciting you for the sway your hot popular ass has over the people, and not exactly your brain power, so maybe this is somewhat unfair, but that may have been the worst take I've ever fucking heard in my life.
Whoa, chill out, man. Remember, we're trying to woo this guy onto our side. Can you maybe go at least a solid minute without forgetting you're a fucking politician now? That means you should try not to insult everybody you meet multiple times per sentence.
Fuck! Yeah, I know! I'm fucking sorry, Jake, for implying that you have slightly less cerebral processing power than the sweaty wedgie this fucking suit is giving my throbbing hike-sore ass.
Nope, that still sucks. You suck, dude.
Yeah, well, chew on this, master strategist. Maybe you telling me I suck is actually the smartest thing you ever fucking said.
Gentlemen! Jeepers fucking Christmas! I was just trying to pay Mr. Strider a gracious compliment. Not every little pleasantry needs to be taken with such blasted literalism. And I appreciate that you're trying to sway my political favour into your bungalow with a bit of the old elbow grease and cajolery, even if your methods are wont to veer into full-throated invective in virtually every single exchange, no matter how harmless the topic. And I truly mean it when I say I do appreciate the effort, both at the brown-nosing as well as the dubious restraint when it comes to impunging my noodle. But all this is adding up to make me wonder.
Jake slices a hand through the air, determined to display his newfound autonomy. It's growing by the minute now that his thought process has been severed from the prince's grip. An old confidence fills him as he continues to speak, a feeling of inner freedom he hasn't enjoyed in some time.
Why should I side with either of you? Flattery is all well and good, but I hardly think I would bother casting my knickers in with anyone's lot based on the quality of praise, or for that matter, withholding them, having my ego bruised from a verbal drubbing. I'm not entirely ignorant of the rules of this jamboree. I understand that whomever I endorse will have a good chance of winning on nothing but my good word. So why should I trust anyone trying to win my favor right now? Do you have any case to make which does not involve glowing accounts of my muscular bottom?
Oh, hell yeah.
I know it seems like an... Fuck, that might be too quiet. I know it seems like an objectively good thing from some pithy moral standpoint to let everyone in this little drama Jane's cooked up make their own decisions, but trust me, Jake isn't thinking for himself any more than he was while being indirectly controlled. Everything he's thinking and feeling right now is merely reactive. He's a mostly dead bug twitching around on the last of its hemolymph after getting its head cut off. Under my guidance, he was like an ant being influenced by the cordyceps fungus. You can't really call one of these better than the other, but at least the latter is being directed towards some greater purpose.
For a moment, Jake thinks he hears something, a minuscule voice prattling along vaingloriously, but he realizes it's only a tiny insect buzzing about his ear. A gnat-like presence of absolutely no consequence. He simply waves at it.
Waves it away.
Yeah, I imagine him waving at it though.
It's like, hi.
Hi!
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
Howdy, Dirk! Fuck off!
An actual pitch on policy or shit, or vision of the world. We can set you up, bro. Or, I mean, this guy can. But wait a minute, who died?
It was Sky.
Oh, she left. Okay. Or, I mean, this guy can. That's what he was made for. Born fucking leader right here.
What?
Take it away, man. Our boy Jake here wants to be goddamn death.
Dave grins and affectionately taps Carcat on the head with his knuckles. Carcat unwinds from Dave's loose embrace, takes a deep breath, and clambers up the ridge to speak with Jake in a more personable proximity. He has learned new methods for connecting with others, and on the campaign trail, how to speak broadly with sweeping conviction and yet create a sense of intimacy when addressing an individual. He has learned to come across as one who was once a leader, and could be again.
Look, Jake. I'm not going to try and sell you some ludicrous story about how I'm the best candidate Earthsea has ever seen or anything. I'm not going to be that arrogant, especially since my arm had to be twisted right out of its socket to get me to even run. But at least we're not hiding our intentions. At this point, it's not a policy beef that I have with Jane Crocker.
Yeah, I'm the one with the policy beef. Corporate welfare destroys public infrastructure.
Shut up, I'm talking!
Word.
We're still living on an incredibly young planet. Let's be real. Every president up until now has just been some bozo basically placating at being in charge.
Play acting.
Because this whole time, everyone's been holding their breath waiting for one of us to run. Whoever wins, me or Jane, will set the tone for subsequent administrations for who knows how fucking long. It's entirely possible that Jane will prove to be a competent president. I have no doubts on her administrative acumen, considering that's probably the only fucking thing she has going for her, besides a series of physical attributes which I keep being told aren't too hard on the eyes. But frankly, I still don't know if I'm seeing it. I mean, she's like, alright, I fucking guess.
Now, let's not be too unfair, old chap.
I think I'm allowed to be unfair when she's holding the reproductive rights of my entire species hostage.
Ah, quite well met.
Jake, she will set a horrible precedent. She's indirect. She's privileged. She's concerned with how things look rather than how things are. No matter how nice she was when you were kids, her dedication to the appearance of that, quote, niceness has already led her down a path of corruption and duplicity. Because when you live inside a skin that's a lie, you'll either grow to fit it or collapse under the unbearable weight of your own shit-spewing cognitive dissonance. Trust me, I fucking know. Because I used to spew an untold amount of shit.
Yeah, used to.
Dude, what the fuck do you want? Get off my bulge! You wanted me to spend some fucking gold to bust out the good shit? There, I said it. That was the good shit. I'm done. I did my thing. This mincing half-wit in the tiny shorts can do whatever the fuck he wants now.
No, that was good. I was just messing with you. Great job, dude. I love it.
Jake chews on these remarks for a minute. He loves Jane and Dirk dearly. He has loved both of them for years, on and off, in multiple fashions and configurations in accordance with the human understanding of this feeling. He thinks it could break Jane's heart were he to oppose her, and yet, hasn't she fired the first shot by broadcasting such scandalous things about him in the media? And it was so soon after they'd nearly had an intimate reconciliation. The more he thinks on it, the more Jake struggles to believe in the sincerity behind Jane's friendship with him. And the prince? Dirk, as he knows him, hasn't been giving much thought by Jake recently. Jake hasn't been savoring the fruits of a mental liberation he is barely aware of, let alone capable of comprehending. When he considers crossing Dirk, he's not afraid of making him angry or hurting his feelings. He simply always wanted to avoid disappointing him. And yet, with the cognitive cloud of Dirk's influence dispelled, Jake now cannot shake the feeling that the best course of action would be the one that asserts the most independence from Dirk. Disappointment be damned. And to whatever extent the prince intends to put Jake's life in jeopardy, for now, his agency remains safely obscured from his sniper sight.
Well, dash my wig. I'll do it.
Dasher, what?
Fuck yeah.
And that's the end for today.
Woo! I'm still scared. That
Fuck, I didn't mean to close it like that. Shit.
I still feel like Dirk is gonna find some way to permanently kill Jake, and it worries me.
Yeah,
Like,
a little
just
bit.
as he's about to say some stuff about endorsing Carcat, fucking bang!
Yeah.
He's
I
gonna
just need to...
slap him in the
Better
face
off
and he's gonna
dead
die.
than endorsing Carcat.
We're not gonna do this tonight. I'm just setting up the thing.
The text is white.
Krim is still listening. Hi!
Hi, Cream.
I say hi to Cream!
Hi, Cream.
Hi, Cream!
Cream.
Hi, Cream!
Who?
Just a friend.
Yeah, my friend. Jay's my best friend.
Best of all besties.
You got it in your head!
Are you fucking kidding me? I remember it from an animation.
Of course, there are many.
A Homestuck animation. Where the fuck are my
the
C
Homestuck
files?
one?
Yeah, it was Dave and Jade because they're friends, and then they go and they get into their gay relationships, which is fucking epic and Gucci. Where the fuck is Candy?
Let me see if I can remember where I saw it from.
I have a Candy somewhere. I know that I do.
Congratulations.
Where the fuck is it?
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for the Candy icons, that way I can...
Can you
But
just use the one that's on the screen right now? Just download the PNG.
That's what I did, but I'm trying to find it in my folder, so I don't have to download it again.
I see. Do you want some high quality ones? I can make those.
Sure, that'd be epic. We're like halfway through, but that would work pretty well.
Okay.
That'd be
I
awesome.
haven't had any commissions recently. For graphic design, so.
I just spent like $300. If I could commission you, I would.
Alright. I'll do it.
Thank you. Where the fuck is it? I know it was in here. I guess I'll just download it again.
In your downloads folder.
That is...
I understand that people like to download things to things other than their downloads folder, but that just makes me feel like
I put all my images in my video resources folder, which is basically just my image folder.
I put everything into my downloads folder. Although I wish it would be nice if you could have it so that if you download a specific file, it goes to a specific folder.
It kind of does that
Like-
for me. Like if I'm downloading a zip file, it goes to my downloads, but if I'm downloading an image, it always goes to my video resource. And I don't know what I did to make it do that. It just kind of does it.
Like, pictures go to the pictures download folder, zip goes to the zip download folder. Because, like, I would remove all my zip files because they're probably all just installation files for VST plugins and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
By the way, I'm gonna end the stream now. Also, yes, that's exactly the one I was talking about. Okay. Farewell stream.
Bye.
Bye.